Audio's there, hang on. It reset in a couple of places. Woo. Okay, I think the audio should be better now. If I'm hearing all this right. Hey, Teeny, welcome in, welcome in. Alright, the frame rate's not dropping. And the audio sounds clear, so I'll start with this. Turn this down. Okay, so viewers, fans, and subscribers, followers of the Icon Battle Circuit, I appreciate you guys all being here. I'm going to go over all the accolades about PrideFGC from June 20th to the 22nd. If I can find them. Okay, so here. So talking about stuff from post PrideFGC about a month back. And then the general results as such. There will be a YouTube version and an Instagram version also for this video. This way, everybody from all versions of the following can productively follow along with this check. And so we're going to talk about the Melty Blood, the Dragon Ball Fighters, and Mortal Kombat. And then also in the week leading up to this, I'm also going to talk about my first championship ever, and the thing that I wanted to talk about with that, because that does play a part in this also. That does play a part, so let me go back to here. And then little by little, as you guys are dragging in, just sit, chill, we'll be here for a little bit. This will be a short stream generally. Hey, welcome in, Otter, welcome in. So to speak on these things here, I welcome you all to our time, all Cybertronians and combative online warriors across the realms, including the most dangerous of nerds. The most important thing you'll grasp today is staying focused on your goal that makes a difference. It makes the ultimate difference. I promise to keep this shorter than a teen's general attention span. Let me start this by giving you a vision, right? Have you ever wondered why having the chance to walk away from this at any time? I go through all this trouble I do to face the obstacles always in front of me. Let me lay down a vision. Not just an idea, but a vision. I open you to the gateway into my endgame. So I've done it. The biggest task on my list. I won the tournament that puts me on the map, and it brings people to me that vibe with me. I can say I'm the king of kings. I am the biggest bird. I can be the hardest worker in the room. I have the command of PlayStation Online at last, as the Iacon Battle Circuit has reached the apex of general and generic online competitive entertainment. I have a batch of great cooperative, listening people that weigh in on a direction and invest in my scene and platform. And we have the ultimate community made up of a more diverse support system a leader can ask of, that's built on morals and common sense, both a dead practice of 2024-2025 as shown by the masses, but is seen differently here because we've had a look and had to look for it away from here in order to house all of it here. There are times where I can just sit down and people want to contribute or host. They can do that at their leisure, in their own image, in their own way, and for a common cause they like, and aren't forced to do it or guilt-tripped into doing it, or no strings attached. It's a very straightforward vision, realistic in some aspects to one's effort. The issue is practicality of people and the experience, not to mention the journey still ahead to acquire these anchors in life. The achievements sought in my venture are the stepping stones to the conquest of achieving greatness, and having the support, the circle, the team, the acceptance, and the growth that I've always wanted doing this. I want to believe that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I have still believed this. The tunnel was this journey to get to PrideFGC's endgame. I've been at a crossroads of uncertainty, facing a choice between indecision and the lack of action, when you just keep going. Coming up on December now, I knew I had 7 to 8 months to accurately make this happen. I have to make a concrete schedule to train, knowing that life and other factors won't or don't take it seriously like I do, because they're in the way of doing it, intentionally or accidentally. I gotta deal with Melty Blood, Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball, Guilty Gear Strive, Under Night 2, and Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. This was 6 cylinders at once, and it was tall order to ask of myself. I'm not even certain I could acquire half those tickets, with a couple of them out of my generic competitive element. But I know it's enough to compose a continued statement in striving for my goal to either push past my limits, or else say a statement about myself that's not easily ignored again because of irrelevancy. These opportunities also will likely not be repeated again in this era, and I know this. The chance for showing my worth to compete at early, high-level Melty Blood in an offline scene now catering to online is unheard of, and this is my chance to show that I can keep up with the newer generation's talent on PC and offline, appearing every other day. Or Mortal Kombat 1, you have the rare Sakura Lotus segment, and she has a famous YouTuber personality that's calling the hosting gig this year. It's another opportunity to try for a highly coveted NRS ticket, knowing it'll be guarded by rare or common matchups at my expense of inexperience. I have to be ready for anything between a shitty character specialist or else a crappy connection process. Then you got the Under Night debut panel with an unseen listing of players coming in from offline. This would be the perfect chance to learn further and test myself after numerous Hollow Knight cash tournaments and Fade Friday events with the online unknowns and the pro player statuses, or just plain Under Night veterans. Or the chance for redemption with Fighters Duelist Academy, now Motivation Academy. This is a gamble too high to not take. This was a past pinnacle on the Dragon Ball FighterZ platform. Of the main items formerly was City of Mayhem and Next Level Battle Circuit. Discontinued, that's now back on a whim because PrideFGC had summoned Neo Judai for that IP representation. They didn't ask for Bum, they didn't ask for Daniel, they didn't ask for me, they didn't ask for KLB, they asked for Neo Judai. It's a revolutionary change in direction. Using Neo's platform took away the chance to prove to New York City's audience that I was deserving of a spot to show my worth matching New York City's finest all these years of competing and servicing the community both, just to be snubbed by the latter because I was never worthy in their eyes to be what I always could be and what I am. It's always a hoop jumping session because no one cares to appreciate what you do, only what you keep doing or never will do. It's New York City's way of being cruel to be kind. All these elements in tow for this event, there's a lot to fight for that is on the line right now. And there's a lot that I have to think about. This would be a long battle that has to be started from within before I can conquer the without with me. Those that tackle the unwarranted or constant imperfections might grasp my words or my meaning. And I had to come to terms with a lot of myself, with what I can and can't control. And cry about it then because I won't have time to cry about it later when I have to keep pushing for the goal line. A part of this was leading me towards missing RFL because of the way a lot of us were so connected and constantly in reach with one another. We're always on the constant up and up with training and communication. Now it's not the same anymore, as half of them don't really respond or reach back or are just too busy to be socially consistent or just reach back to a fellow former brother in arms. Then here at home, it's just not the same here to be an internet battery. The emotional support is just non-existent and absent from family matters, as they stay in their own cycle, in their own bubble of wanting to be better, but being worse, ultimately because of family matters causing a lack of empathy or a lack of self-awareness. Because if it's not about you, then it's not about anything. And the icing on the cake is wanting the support from my own space, my own private space. Like, you know, the chat and the server that I built up from scratch with my own 2 hands. But it's a dead chat with those never paying attention to my goals or my narrative. Aside from the occasional 4 people in an 85-man chat. Or here, you got the 2 or 3 people in a 790-man Discord server. It's depressing knowing why more people here only really care to use you more than ignore you, rather than help you build the foundation you want to have more reach and to have more appreciation, more people that resonate with your journey to come to you. But it's a reality that I have to shelter, and I have to just accept this. In summing up, in moving past those depressing moments, RFL is with me in spirit. Family is family, I guess. And a lot of what felt like I'm on my own to sort this out actually was just me figuring this out on a daily basis, how to deal with all of this on my own. Between taking care of family and work, keeping up appearances for Iacon's sake, or for engagement, or recruiting this team that can help with managing Iacon while I am away, and it can help take care of branding business while I rapidly step back. It's a lot of juggling and adulting while gradually being emotionless for a while. Because I can't let... It's emotionless for a while because I can't let emotions drive or pivot me from completing the significant anchor points I have to have for myself and for my brand to keep surviving if I'm going to generally pivot from giving it attention right now. Because I'm not going to do them both, fuck it. I'm just going to do one, I'll let the other one sit there, or other people can do that in my stead. That's the same song and dance we've done once upon a time. My goal was given purpose the quicker I started my mental solidarity, and I decided to resume this push to 1. Get sponsored with a new team that resonates with me and my views on the community and life. 2. Find a personal artist or commission artist that resonates with my goals to help me level up Iacon. 3. Apply momentum to rebuild my incoming team. People that fuck with me. People that care about what I am doing here. And 4. To amplify my base support for more engagement. More people. More people here that resonate with my journey and that resonate with each other, that can communicate with each other. Like, you guys can naturally talk to each other. I don't always have to be here in order to do that. I wouldn't think. If the atmosphere is rich and inviting, it should be easy for people to interact with each other, but I notice that it has not. And I think that it also starts with the core compound and what the community is built upon, is why that's the case. And I want to try and change parts of that. Not all of it, but parts of it. These 4 anchor points are the main reason why I will strive at PrideFGC. Even if I go through all this, there's no guarantee it'll work, or that people will resonate with my continued push for change. There's no guarantee people will pay it any attention to help me build it further, or build up further, or even see my vision of winning an event, and to not give a fuck about my brand further to pursue this goal. I gave others the chance to host a small Iacon or Iacon in my place while I do this if they really want it, that feverishly. But it can't be asked as no one did want to step up, so I chose to leave this on the table and pursue my dream. And I know that people can either respect that, help it along, or can just respectfully leave me alone altogether if they don't respect that. That's targeted towards the people that care more about Iacon than they do about the creator of Iacon, and don't understand why I had to walk away from that in order to continue walking my path. People already have their mind made up about my kind of person that's always doing everything, but it's never enough to matter because of A, B, C. So I let them be them. I refuse to have a forced projection of comparing my achievements by someone else's timeline that other people respect or just suck off more. I came across this motivational video that has helped me to stay positive and to keep pushing through the darkness when others don't know how to support another or don't know how to be selfless or supportive. This motivational video helped with a lot of uncertainty in the monthly, day-by-day process that this preparation and mindset, strength of fortitude, and mental character took. This motivational push over roughly 8 months was to create the change I needed to be the better person that I was yesterday. And I just started getting to work on these. You ask, why not just pick one game and just compete on the one game? It's the principle. That's a high stakes waste of opportunity, in my opinion, to turn a whole full focus into one game. When, yes, I could do that, but there's other games here that I also feel I am competent at. And I also don't want those opportunities to be wasted. It wouldn't have mattered either way because the outcome I sought versus what's offered is kind of partially rigged against me, for lack of a better term. To get on the endgame ticket to any of these battles is to have results speak for itself as I climb. To win one of these tickets, however, is to just be ready for the highest level presentation of bus ass at any moment, and I couldn't prepare for that. It can even be the first person on the bracket as a welcome to off preparation. Besides, different levels of the LGBTQ competitive community, there are alternative guest surprises. People that are supporters of the LGBT that are surprisingly very powerful entities that you probably never have heard of. An event like this, you need to worry about people you don't know. Don't worry about the ones you do know, worry about the ones you don't know. Lastly, if I want the sponsorship or growth to support me, I have to fight for it as anybody else would. I'm not going to be given a break or given a free ride out of this. I have to earn this like everybody else, even if it may be fairly or unfairly won or uncontested. Hell, it could even be rigged against me even trying to get sponsored just because, oh, you're too old, or you're not what we're looking for. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm one of the hardest working TOs and competitors in the history of the modern day FGC conglomerate. This is already the case, where I have to establish the balance of organizer and competitor. Nobody else knows of that cycle. Like, not getting to know me because it's not of this generation. I'm not of this generation. Thankfully. So I have to reintroduce myself in a sporting way. I have to be candid. And while I refuse to hoop jump, I will prove I'm more than capable of representing an organization's tag and integrity, as long as it's matching my ideology or sense of purpose. The signal boost is nice. It helps with self-consistency and tackling the imagery I feel the communities have painted or expanded on me or about me. But it's more for the engagement and the management. It's seriously on the management. That's mainly why I wanted to join an organization. I needed a management to advise me with making the right or wrong decisions, to help with moving projects around, or to help with imagery and put me in a nice space where I can be collaborative with other people. I need the structure mainly. I don't need the reach. It's structure, not reach. Okay, check marking here. I'm going to go over the thank yous for each area, starting from Mortal Kombat down with the order of practicing to each one. So, with Melty Blood, I house an honorable mention to Shinoa. While we didn't get to train that much, he did help me with understanding the higher level orb Okazemi play that Alco has, and orb neutral tech for Oki, and movement that I can now apply after months of consistent PC Melty play. With Mortal Kombat 1, I want to thank Ryder, Elite, Staz, Deadeye, and Blue Jay. Hang on, wait, did I say his name right? Wait, hang on. Jujutsu Otter. Yeah, Staz, Jujutsu Otter. So I want to thank Ryder, Staz slash Jujutsu Otter, Deadeye, and Blue Jay. So a lot of our morning and evening trainings was successful in building better neutral and commitment habits I'm to have for a better performance in aggressive survival. The rotation of character variety, reaction, patience, pressure, confirm game, proper cameo identification in matchups, and proper commitment to a changing environment on different levels helped with trying to see the better picture of moving in different character neutrals. Even if I don't know the character matchup, I can have a sense of confidence in being patient enough when to press, when not to press, or when to monkey out and do something stupid that might ruin me. And then with Ryder, I especially thank you for introducing me to Ninja Killer's Liu Kang show with Kung Lao. It made a vast difference compared to my prior choices I would have opted for going into this tournament around Sector or Serena, or even Frost. This cameo is such an adaptive treat to learn and build neutral around. And I can still go further with this team shell is the best part. It's not even a fully perfected cameo adjustment yet, so I have to stay on it to help the bigger picture of the neutral that it's drawing out for me. Man, when I tell you I was so depressed when the TO called my match and I was placed at 9th initially, this shit really hurt. I fought so hard to get that Mortal Kombat 1 ticket. And that shit had me depressed all morning after that. Like you don't even know how far I was in the kitchen. And then I got this ping by the league overseer. That was, what's her name? Losty girl. Her, the overseer. I got the ping for her that my match was actually wrongly decided, and I actually made 8th place on the ticket, not 9th. Man, boy, my feelings did a whole 360. I was like swirling internally. My head was... I was just going through it in reverse. Because I was already late for that ticket, because I had to try and wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning in order to make sure that I was ready to go. I had something to eat. Mom was taken care of, family was taken care of, and all this shit. Because I blew off my opportunity to get the Grand Blue contest to come here and make sure I could secure this. I was already late and disqualified for Grand Blue because I was already late for that. This, I was late for, but I could still be allowed to play because my loser's match wasn't completely decided, so I had to fight all my matches from losers. So I couldn't afford to lose any one time, otherwise it's just done. And then to fight all that hard in order to arrive at 9th, the shit just hurt. And then found out I made 8th. It was a lot. Mine was just swirling. With Under Night 2, even though I didn't really do that well in my placements, I want to give my thanks to Icarus Evermore and to Riojin, my homie Rio. Icarus Evermore helped with a better understanding of calmness under pressure when fighting people that are better than you at this game. He just flat out told me that like you do good for yourself, but at the same time you're fighting the ladder in fighting people that don't do rank or do online stuff that much, that are just vastly better than you by design, because they've been playing this game archetype for many years before you. And that's the truth of the situation. Or you have to fight an uphill battle already intended to mainly lose it because you're just fighting more experienced players despite their own lack of experience. They just have the offline experience. And even though I didn't make top 8, I still want to thank Evermore and Ryu both. And you know what? And Fang Regalia too for introducing me to Icarus Evermore. Give credit where it's due. With Grand Blue versus Rising, I want to thank Nothing. He's been really supportive of my journey and accommodated some efforts at a training process despite my emotional gray area with the game formally. I didn't get to really compete at Grand Blue's platform with the initial start time, like I said, was at 10 a.m. on Sunday that morning, and I was struggling to get up and meet that mandate. It cost me my whole run. But I promise that I'll make it up to you, because our work hasn't gone to waste, and I'll try and see if I can get in some Grand Blue competing down the line, so that way that doesn't go to waste. With Guilty Gear Strive, I want to thank Dragon of the West and Realm of Degens. Like, it's a big server ping in Tax City for games when viable for times, and only the two are always answering to play. And so, those two are the two that I will accommodate and that I do accumulate credibility to. Because it's that simple request that's built a lot of expansive opportunity for me to thrive off of and trying to learn this game at a deeper sense of consistency. And this isn't just pinging in Tax City, it's also pinging in my private server on PlayStation. Between them both, people don't want to be around, but those two are always around. So those two are the ones that have my credibility only, and only those two. It took a lot of patience to adapt. Like, when I say it was a side journey to be decent at Strive again, I gotta have proper block strings, I gotta understand what I can and can't mash on, I gotta understand how Roman canceling works with RCing, identifying a lot of fake shit, or applying frame data now that it's in the game. It was hard for the longest time to just be a logical monkey and just do something stupid at what feels like the right time when I have the data to literally show me this now. It's still a work in progress, but I think I'm much better off now compared to the end of 2021 when my initial interest from Guilty Gear Strive evaporated. Lastly, with Dragon Ball FighterZ, I want to thank Boyka and Darky from the EU scenes, as well as Fate, zoahking, and Dragon of the West. Finding a variety of people outside my coaching windows has been hard all year long. I'm not talking about one-on-ones, I just do those raw. I'm talking about actual, sweaty, in-depth training to stay in shape and attempting to learn the newer stuff while retaining the old stuff. That shit's really hard. This made it all worthwhile and was one of the most heavily sought tickets alongside the Melty program that I fought for. We showed up in New York City at last on one of its home turf high-level platforms by securing a top 8 to one of the most coveted spots in the community's history. Almost top 4 at that. Why was it so vital? It's important. I show them up because of the years of trauma I'm rewarded for being myself that was hypocritically preached by people from this scene. The older Dragon Ball scene, the general New York City scene. I need to pay back the litter to this game's toxic capital and add salt to the wound personally, then add more salt. as you learn not to downplay me or my efforts ever again on my main game. Throwing it in my face, all your trophies or your special achievements and your oh-so-special gifts of insta-learning shit overnight, and rubbing it in that others can't do it, just because you adapt in some reverse-ass way that everyone has to respect. My blood boils that half the dipshits through time and modern day have what they have, or have had ungratefully to the scene's bloodstream, and the modern day will never know this because it was so beautifully hid through a lot of the older players' downfalls from grace. And it's like it was protected. There's a priority of excessive style over set stability that's shown me that for New York City, I have to kick their ass strongly and keep kicking it. That was my revenge. And this was my revenge in finally having one of the top 3 placements, or a top 8 ticket to one of the top level scenes in the history of Dragon Ball FighterZ today. And it was carried to the letter because I saw it through myself by making sure I could work that day and night. Unfortunately, yes, almost jeopardizing my health in the process, but to make sure I would have this uncontested and unquestioned. And I can be content now that I actually have it. I can't have bums. I can't have spookies and NLBCs, but I can have FDAs. I can have Neo's ticket, and I can be content with this. And then for the emotional support, I want to thank Cookie and my Metaphi students. You guys feel like you didn't do anything at all, when really you did amongst the most by association. Not because you need to be involved with this process, but because you just check in with me amidst the process. I want you to think. I'm asking people to sit with me. It's like people can't help doing that. I'm inviting people to chill with me, check out some movies or web series, stuff to get to know me, my audience and my followers and supporters, and so that way they can get to know me, other than being some damn TO or a guy with power. There's always a reason you can't answer or you can't pull up. I'm reaching out to people in my server or my private spaces outside my circle here because I know many of you are busy, which I understand. And I'm just disappointed by the no responses or dismissal of open interaction by the hypocritically preached. I let it go because it's people being people, but it's saddening that the numbers are so high in each place I go to because of that shit. Humans just disappoint me daily on simple things now. Then you guys show up, and I'm reminded that not everyone is like that. It reminded me of a sense of humanity and rationality that I lost along the way, back at the start in seeking revenge for myself on the said efforts. And I'm not trying to lose myself in the distortion of chasing what's a set vision in a dream, and it becomes a lost or blind obsession. And I could have still done that anyways to this day, for all I know. It's like you guys were helping to polish a compass to resume the actual right direction. You guys check in to see how I'm doing, or what I'm working on, or what I'm thinking about, or what I ate, or how I slept. A few of you guys I even met recently through just taking my Metaphi classes, and I'm introduced to this whole new area of person I thought was a dead practice of social interaction. It's the simple gesture of wanting to understand me that helps me more than you'll ever know. And I'm totally indebted to you guys. It helps to feel like I can be open in my own space. being vulnerable isn't rare, but revealing that to people worthy of it is a difficult constant. Because there's a lot of people in my space that aren't worthy of seeing the vulnerable side of me, and just take it for granted. It's why I would always socially shut down or emotionally dismiss others projecting their needs or faults or demands onto me over top of my own. Even channeling that anger or misunderstood action into my performances, where it's a main outlet where I'm channeling all my anger into skills. Something that I still do to this day, which I know it's not a healthy ritual at all, but is what I've always defaulted to for expelling my disappointment of others that I trusted or that I invested in. It was so repetitive, even in my own space, that it made it hard to be comfortable, to be open without it being dismissed casually and not paid mind like it's only you that matters to you. And I got tired of that selfish shit. And I got tired of trying to talk to my following or talk to people I sought to have close to me just to be disappointed in them. Or I made a last resort when you choose to listen to me out of boredom and not concern. This even helped with checking in on myself to better maintain a mental, emotional well-being that I can't always stay on top of as much as I should. Taking a moment to pause and reflect on your internal state, acknowledging your feelings, thoughts, bodily sensations, can teach you a lot about how to foster a greater sense of self-compassion and self-awareness. I failed to check in with myself at times because of time mismanagement, caring for others on demand, and demanding my own time away from others. Even the few times where I probably demanded time from others where I feel they're worthy of my time and I would like them to be here more than other people that are more abundant that don't deserve it. Checking in with yourself is an active engagement with your inner world that can positively impact a lot of your life, your navigation, and can significantly enhance your overall grounded sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. These recollections of perspective and awareness, I can't find these pockets of self-sense much of where I go, so I'm blessed to know it's here with you guys making those pockets for me and for us, and I thank you for it. You get to a certain level where it's hard to make peace with people around you, but I made peace with being misunderstood, and that's become a part of me. It's the road I travel still after 19 years of competition. I come from environments where there's very little or non-existent cheerleading going on, and in some response I created this survival instinct where I have to keep everything to myself or constantly place self-blame or imperfection daily in why I have to be lesser and can never be greater, or I can't get to higher places dealing with others' insecurities that have to be my problem because you don't understand yourself. I have my own insecurities that I'm trying to deal with and work past, so that way I can feel like a boss every day instead of feeling like shit every day. And I can't succeed knowing that the balance of imbalance is a constant. Gradually you have to be direct or even subtly abrasive to see who your real people are that are here understanding what you're saying and aren't interrupting you, that aren't silent when you need them to be talking. Some of these are signs of a ritualized social inattention, borderlining a corruptive integral of communications, just to gauge control. Continuing my grasp of my situation, I believe that a recreation of space and my foundation is essential to the newfound progress before me. The key being maintaining those that care and disposing of those that do not. All these have to be existent confines because someone knows your worth, but it's not always you. That's the problem. I want to ensure that this stays with me and that my worth is shown as a path for us across Tax City and across the realms as I travel. You have to sacrifice a lot when chasing your dream. Some days make you question if it's worth it. A lot of those days came to pass on this road to this major because my belief in myself to be a boss and to be king was wavering some days. Other days it was concrete that this was the path ahead of me to conquer my foes and achieve greatness. The right environment helps me learn through curiosity and support, and not shame or ego or excess validation. The PrideFGC major event, I also thank you for the opportunity and your support for allowing me to even get to this endgame and celebrate with those closest to me. This is the second year I've competed at this exclusive major, and the second year I've been able to establish a historic checkmark through your graces to my otherwise unreachable goals, where thousands see me do what I do, even if they don't sit with me. And that's okay. I work with the hand dealt, and I work in the shadows. I work in the shadows to stand in the light. All in all, I appreciate many of you guys wanting to really come along with me for the ride into the next chapter of my time here competing. The one-on-ones, the making content, having open talks, the Icon collab expansions, the podcasts now that are back in the mix, and everyone for being here on this journey looking forward to the future. I appreciate you guys, all of you. And so, Rodimus Prime out. That closes my speech for PrideFGC 2025. PrideFGC 2025. Let me go ahead and pull this up here because I also want to talk about another thing that had happened while we were here. Not this, but there was something else that was here. Okay, so this one I also want to talk on, and then we're going to get ready to raid. Alright, before I do, any questions, comments, or concerns that any of you guys have out there in the following, let me know now. Before I go on ahead and I talk on this. Or I can just talk on it anyways. I mean, you guys will just be there when you be there. So this happened in the time span leading up to the PrideFGC major. This was on Friday the 13th. Yeah, I know, it's like super freaking weird for whatever reason. So half of this was in the background. The other half I wasn't paying it mind fully with practice, stress, and time management between factors. I was caught up with, or caught into. I'm still caught in the middle of some of that shit now because everything's just been falling behind. It's taking care of people because of an accident. I've been having mixed feelings about it, and I wanted to clear my feelings because uncertainty of achievement or direction is not the tone I want to set as a champion going forward. It's not the correct mindset, and it doesn't stir motivation, and it doesn't stir poise or belief or strength of mind, strength of body and mind. Like, why is this an issue? It's not that this is an issue. I'm very grateful, most definitely. I'm not ungrateful. It felt hollow because there were none of the usual people always fighting here, but still had a random hard turnout of other people that were never before seen, where we had to kind of milk the arrival of people to come here that weren't naturally going to play the game, but they decided to play the game because of the other thing that was going on that night. The regulars took it for granted, and their indecisive nature almost compromised another event. Additionally, I couldn't test myself to the standard they set playing here and see if I earned this 100%. I can only just do what I can as I am. It wasn't free. It's that it's uncertain for me to know how to accept growth from the unknown and not the known factors that forced me to grow and get good in the first place. Over that week, Quinn and Naegi and a couple other supporters have been trying to help me with figuring out how to deal with this so I can apply this as a stepping stone to go even higher. Like over 19 years of competitive gaming across countless platforms, this was to be the most important win in the history of my entire career, because it's the very first one I ever earned. I wanted people to believe me that I was good at a game and not lucky. I was saddened that it was only awarded from others assing around on opportunity and not standing on business like I was. I felt like it was too soon for me to have a championship to my name. But at the same time, the true test of game or mechanic proficiency is to just have it and learn from there, even if it's messy. So I'm going to take Quinn and Naegi's advice and use this as a stepping stone to be the best warrior I can for me, and achieve further to change the script of consistency because I believe I can succeed. I made a dream into reality this day, that Friday, simply by taking action around standing preparation. I wasn't ready to step into this, but the decision and the community says otherwise, so I have to believe them. I'll accept it and build from there. So I continue to take action for the story and for the value of hard work that adds up since I never gave up. There will be others. There will be other times where I can contest grand finals, or probably get to top 3. Maybe not to this lane, but other games and stories. So the best I can do is use this as a building block towards the greater glory that can befell a person like me, and see if I can get another title to my name. And maybe this time it would have come from a hard-won fame, or a well-fought endgame, or months or years of practice coming full circle. I don't know. That's part of the mystery in the road that's still ahead, and so I will continue to walk it with the championship in tow. I'll take it with me. that's where my head was at for like the longest time, because this helped with confidence going into PrideFGC. It's just that night I was so happy, and then I was like immediately like really sad because I just was in the right place at the right time. I stood on business, I handled my business, and I won. But it just didn't feel like the end game was any of those factors that forced me to get good or try to get good at this game in the first place, and that's what made it feel hollow to me. And I don't want to feel that way, but it's just also understanding how it made me feel. Okay, I believe that is everything I had wanted to talk about while I was here. That's everything with PrideFGC, and everything also with what led up into PrideFGC. I'm going to go on ahead and I don't know who's out there, so I'm just going to go ahead and just take us somebody to raid. But I did want to sit here and talk on that while I was here, in order to sit and talk to you. And I wanted this to be something of a tradition that we do yearly. So as long as I'm playing in PrideFGC, this is something that I want to do for the game, in order to make it something like a really strong spectacle.